The hostility and bullying is relentless. A recent example, among quite a few, is the following comment publicly posted on Nextdoor by Mayor Palguda and addressed to a planning and zoning commissioner. Quote, Sandra, I would like to congratulate all of the lawyers, water experts, fortune tellers, psychics, hypocrites, and creative writing authors who have graduated from Nextdoor University this September. Who would have thought we lived in such a huge academic community? Their families must be so proud or embarrassed, depending on who they are. You know what they say about opinions, end quote. If you're not aware, that last sentence is a very vulgar euphemism. Who says this kind of stuff? Indeed, there is something very wrong, very broken, and very unhealthy with all of these attacks on the residents of Prescott Valley. Can any of you even imagine our late Mayor Harvey Skoog, or Prescott Mayor Phil Good, or our Vice Mayor Lori Hunt behaving in such a way? Of course not. If any Prescott Valley employee behaved as such, they would be disciplined for violating ethics codes and harassment policies. One would expect that the mayor would be seen as the utmost example of the required professional conduct. This is not the case at all. If the town of Prescott Valley citizenry were an entity, we would be in a hostile working environment. How can we even consider moving forward with upcoming discussions involving the expenditure of millions of dollars when the expressed opinions of the residents are constantly attacked and maligned? Mayor Palguda needs to pass that gavel over to Vice Mayor Hunt and step down for the sake of Prescott Valley.
Thank you, sir. Clerk?
Do I have a Deanne Griffith?
Welcome, ma'am.
I'm Deanne Griffith, and I live in Quailwood. I moved here about 8 years ago to help care for my senior mother. I bought a house on the back field, paid extra because that was important to me. I'm an early bird and I love watching, excuse me, the sunrise. And it was very discouraging to find out that they were gonna put a huge development right behind me. And to watch this place just getting mowed down is really just heartbreaking. I planned on working, which I have been. I'm a handy woman in my neighborhood and work for all the senior people that can't get on ladders and paint and do all those things. I am so sad because I am retiring earlier and I'm gonna move away from this beautiful town because I can't stand to see it just being mowed down every day. You know, they tell us we're supposed to be going green and do all this stuff, and then when you're mowing stuff down, that's not green. That's taking away the beautiful places for antelope and everything. The mayor, it gets on Nextdoor, I see it. He's very disappointing. I went to speak to you personally. You always say, come see me, I'm open, I'm transparent. I went to go see you. You didn't like a question I asked you, and you turned to walk away, and then when I called you on it and said, well, just walk away, you turned around and called me a 6-year-old. I don't appreciate that. Yeah, you look question, it was up at the Colts Grill. It was before the election, and you were going around talking to people, so I thought it was a good opportunity to come talk to you. I talked to you for quite a while with a friend. It was very rude, and I will not forget it. Since then, I've looked at your background with the police department and saw all the shenanigans you did, cheating on your overtime and everything. You should have been fired. We're paying your retirement, and any other person would have been fired from a normal job. And I find it very hard to trust you and listen to you. And I'm just a citizen. And I don't like to speak in front of people and everything, but I have to tell you, I'm really upset. I don't want to have to move, but I'm not happy here anymore. And when I see our leadership acting the way you do, I'm ready to head for a new hill. Thank you very much. I hope he doesn't treat you people the way he treats citizens that are concerned about water issues in the building and everything. I hope not, and I hope you will stand up to him. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk? Welcome, sir.
About 2.5 years ago, I was at the Planning and Zoning Commission when the LLC guy from Mandalay Homes did his presentation for Jasper. Now, one of his selling points was they're going to extend Stone Ridge Drive all the way to the loop there, Santa Fe Loop, and call it Jasper Parkway. Now, I was sitting right behind this smooth talker, so I said, hey, when are you going to build this road to connector? And he looked at me and he said, probably about 2 years. So I assume you're all aware of this, and I haven't seen anybody doing anything on Stone Ridge. And as we all know, Glassford Hill was just trashed. And to fix it is gonna really mess up traffic. And I think this Jasper Parkway might alleviate some of that traffic issue. And I was wondering if anybody besides me has thought about this. That's it.
Thank you, sir. And actually, good news for you is, actually on Monday, we'll be meeting with the developer and establishing an exact timeline for Jasper.
Well, good luck with that.
Clerk?
Joe Hoytis?
Welcome, sir.
How you doing? Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you're aware of it, the House legislature passed 2 bills this week, Bill number 2061 and Bill number 1063. And these bills eliminate the taxes on groceries. The city stands to lose $3.8 million in revenues. Everybody's aware of that, okay. I also just found out now, we're gonna build this monument for $156,000. I think we should take a second look at this. Put item 8B on the back burner and reassess this at a later date. Thank you, everyone.
Clerk?
We have no one else.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 5, council communication. Start on, end with Councilwoman Leyva.
Well, yeah, I just have a quick story on the monuments. There's a-
Well, you can hold off if you wait.
Sure. So then, nothing.
Councilwoman?
All, I would like to mention that last weekend, Councilwoman Greer and I sat in on the strategic planning session of the Prescott Valley Performing Arts Theater. It's the little theater right next to Findlay Toyota. Provide opportunities for area residents to participate in the process of live theater and to enjoy the artistic, social, and educational benefits of this art form. So it's a wonderful little theater. If you haven't had a chance to see one of their plays yet, I highly recommend it. A lot of people have a conception that it's just a children's theater. That's not true. It is much more than that. They also have, they lease it out to other facilities. There's a church in there, and there's some concerts coming up, so I highly recommend that. Also like to give a shout out to Senate Judicial for passing SB 1029 on a 4-3 vote out of committee, and the title is Felony Murder Fentanyl Sentencing. So that is the Senate bill that passed the Judicial Committee today, and we'll be going through the process. We have another bill that's going to be heard next Wednesday, and it's HB 2167, entitled Drug Offenses Homicide Sentencing. It's sponsored by member Quang Nguyen, and it's before the House Judicial Committee on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Please write to the Judicial Committee. I put the names and the email addresses back there on the table, and tell them that the drug dealers who murder our kids and residents should be sent to prison and not just get a slap on the hand. We are fortunate to have 2 illegal fentanyl bills this year, which heightens the awareness of this deadly issue. The council had a wonderful budget retreat last week, thank you, Katie, where we reviewed comments from residents who had attended the budget open house and those who commented on the public survey. We discussed our focus areas from our strategic plan, specifically progress made and future considerations. Please follow our budget process on the town's Facebook page or at prescottvalley-az.gov. We appreciate any comments, and we're all available, as well as staff, for meetings to talk about things like the budget or other things. Thank you.
Councilwoman Greer.
Yes, it was a really lovely day at the Playhouse, and they're looking for volunteers. I've probably been to every community playhouse in the Los Angeles area, and this one is much more professional, much more organized, and even bigger than most around the Hollywood area. So I was very impressed and looking forward to having them grow and do more programs.
Thank you, ma'am. Manager's report. I know this does not seem like our normal Gilbert Davidson manager. He, actually, basically, our trifecta is in Sedona this evening, so we have the next best thing right here, so.
Mayor, Council, thank you. Yes, as you can tell, I'm not Gilbert. I am Casey Van Haren, the Community Services Director, sitting in for Gilbert. Tonight, I have a couple of things I want to report to you. We just want to let you know that the Glassford Hill and Viewpoint roads will be going to bid next month, and we hope to have them under construction in April-May timeframe. We're doing this because we want to minimize the impact to traffic while school is in session. Also, if you've noticed, we have made major improvements to our multi-use paths. From Powers to Laredo, Pipeline, Central Core, Navajo to Serpentine, and Stone Ridge. We also replaced the old plastic PVC fencing and replaced that with steel railing, so they look really, really nice. These are just great new additions to our community, and we have received so many positive feedback. One in particular, one guy said, it looks like a Scottsdale trail, so that was awesome, that we're really trying to make that impact in our community with our trails and our multi-use paths. Also, we are continuing to work with Prescott, Yavapai County on the Glassford Hill project, and we have a bill going to the legislature for potential funding of that project. And then, of course, we are reviewing legislation that could have an impact upon Prescott Valley, and we will be providing updates to the council as various legislative items move through the process.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Council, we've all had a chance to review. If there's no item to be removed, I'll entertain a motion. Councilwoman?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I make a motion to approve all items under the consent agenda as presented by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Hepperly,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hunt.
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, new business. New Series 10 liquor license, Dave Fast Stop. Ms. Tarrant?
Hello. So this application is for a Series 10 liquor license for Dave's Fast Shop located at 3933 North Robert Road. You may recall that I was here last month for this item. We weren't notified that the applicant had actually withdrawn their application until we received the new one. So same thing, we posted a notice for this hearing at the location for 20 days. Yes, it is. Is that better? Okay. We posted a notice for this hearing at the location for 20 days. The deadline to submit comments pro or con recommendation was January 20th, and our office did not receive any. So staff is recommending that town council recommend approval.
This is a public hearing, so we'll open up a public hearing at this time. Anyone in the public that would like to speak on this topic? Here's your opportunity. That being said, I'll close the public hearing. Council, do we have any questions in regards to this liquor license? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to recommend to ADLLNC approval of the application for Series 10 liquor license for Dave's Fast Shop at 3933 North Robert Road by electronic vote.
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Hunt? That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 8B, Prescott Valley Monument Sign, Project CE 22-01. Sir, Mr. Osborne, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'd like to introduce you to Gary. He is with Floresco, and they are who we have been working with on the project to come up with a good design that really fits for us. We had initially put the project out for a bid, and it came in much higher than what we could afford to do. So we put it back out as a design build. And by doing that, we have been able to work together to refine it, to work it down to a place where we think it is affordable and it really represents the town. I want to turn it over to Gary here and
Hello.
let him say.
Happy to be here this evening. It's been a couple of months really of us going back and forth and trying to value engineer based on what we originally came up with. I think we came up with a design that fits within your budget and also took into an account some of the features that you wanted on the sign, like RGB lighting, et cetera, to be able to change the color of the sign during seasons and the backlit portion of the sign. So I think that we've given you what you've wanted. We did decide, or the town decided, to split the project into 2 phases. The phase that you see there would be in the second phase. That's a art sign over Glassford Hills Road. That is not part of what you're considering tonight. That will be at some later date. And what you're considering tonight are the 2 monument signs that you're considering phase 1, and that is a daytime representation of that particular sign.
There's also a nighttime look to it?
Yes. That is, let's see, that's back. Oh, going the wrong direction, I'm sorry.
And sir, while we're getting
There it
there,
is.
Ta-da!
for the mapping, just so everyone knows, they might not know from just that slide on what the map looks like on where exactly these will go.
Right, we'll put one is going to go west of the 169 intersection. There'll be another one out by Victorian Estates off of Baker. It'll be just east of Baker. So we will gather in everyone who's coming on 69 in both directions to identify that they're in Prescott Valley.
Vice Mayor, did you have a comment?
Yeah. Bill, thank you for doing this. So the pictures we're looking at right now are the back side, correct?
That right there, the color ones are the front side. Yes,
Go to the back side again.
yes.
There you
Right
go.
there.
Consider
That's it.
making the front side on the back side too, so that you see it from both ways,
We
instead of
did
just,
We did consider that originally, and we ended up with this as a value engineer because you're only really mainly gonna view it going the one way. So, we put that on the back to have something on the back. There was some conversation maybe about putting come again soon or something like that, but this is what we ended up with. So we can change it to whatever you guys want it to be, but this is where we're at right now.
Mr. Mayor, I appreciate these signs. I think that they were very nice. Bring the price down. I met with a resident yesterday who thinks these are great signs that we need to have. Remember, as part of our strategic planning process, we went through the logo design, which I personally like a lot. And then, can you go back to the front again, Bill?
Sure.
And then we talked about, which one has our tagline on it?
It's been bandied back and forth at the cooler side of Arizona. So we had taken it off of these slides. It was on the previous slides that you had seen earlier. So that's something that is still being kind of kicked around.
So I like the cooler side of Arizona on that. I like the tagline that we came up with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these are very necessary to let people know when they enter Prescott Valley. I think that it's going to go along with our strategic plan that we did. It goes along with our emphasis on tourism, which helps us bring tourists to the area to spend sales tax and bed tax in order to put into our general fund to pay for police officers and upgrade of the parks. So I think this is a very important part of the next steps to improve the image of Prescott Valley. And so I thank you very much for working on this, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So does the backside light up?
It does.
It does. So the backside will light up just like the front side,
Yeah.
or whatever color it should
Yeah,
be.
I'm pretty, yeah, it did, correct? I'd have to check that 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's where we ended up, and I'll confirm that.
So on the back side slide, you have 3 images, but what you're showing is actually the side view. That's not 3
Yes.
parts. It's the one.
That's the side view.
Yeah, the side view. And so would this, the cooler side of Arizona be just on the front side?
Yeah, that tagline was originally, if you flip over to it was only on the front.
Yes.
And it was in the reveal that you see there, the space between the masonry block, that little reveal in there, that dark brown space.
Yeah.
And it was in there,
yeah,
it was
I
in
know
there
where-
originally.
Yeah, I know where it was. Was there anything else that was considered
For that
other than
space?
that tag?
That was the only one we worked with, we were asked to work with.
That was the one that we first looked at and had it involved, had it put in with the original look that we had. As we went along, there was some back and forth with it, and where it stood at the moment was, let's take it out for now, and
So the
see
pros and
what the
cons,
response.
or pros and cons?
Yes, there were pros and cons to it. And is that really the tagline we want to have and use? But my understanding is we've kind of tied that up. It is our tagline now, so I couldn't think of anything else we would put there.
Councilwoman Leyva?
Have a quick comment. I think the logo important, and as a business owner, a tagline and a logo, it's
Right.
there's this little town right before I-10, when you're going down from Jarnell and School Valley, and it's called Hope. And I think there's just a little gas station there, and I don't live there. But when you drive into the town, it says, "Welcome to Hope." And then when you're about to leave, it says, "Now you're beyond hope." I remember that.
Sure.
And you remember. So if we want to attract tourism into our town, they need to know.
Yes.
I think the slogan is I love the slogan.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think that's gonna make people to remember Prescott Valley.
I do. I agree with you. But just one thing about the lights, we are RGB lights, so we can change the color of the lights. What month it is, we have them on our buildings where we'll change the color for all the different, cancers or whatever that month is kind of dedicated to. Our signs will reflect that as well.
I believe it's Gilbert has a water tower, I believe it is. Water tower colors.
I live in Gilbert, so yes.
It is Gilbert, correct? The one that
It
has
is
the
Gilbert, yes.
water tower, and they change it for
Yeah, it's,
enforcement or breast cancer or whatever the
you can't miss it.
event.
Yeah.
Councilman, you had another comment, I apologize for.
No, that's okay. I was done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for Mr. Osborne? Councilwoman Hepperly?
In addition to supporting tourism and whatnot, but just from the economic development side, attracting businesses, commercial, industrial, every little thing that we do like this shows pride in the town and that we're constantly looking to improve and set ourselves out on the map, which is what businesses want to see. If some business is looking to come here, they want to see that we are constantly working to improve ourselves and And, you know, they don't want to put their business, they could put all the money in the world into their business to make it look nice, but if it's not in a town that is putting in the same effort, then what's the point? So I think that this is, from an economic development standpoint, it's important as well, so thank you.
Very, very much. And I think as we go through and we do the branding on parks, right here, well, we do the branding right here, we'll get that continuity and that look and really brand the town as something moving forward.
I have one more question.
Yes.
So that black area where a tagline may or may not go, it looks like it's a little over a foot?
I don't know the exact dimension, but I believe it was right, I think it's just over a foot.
Like 13.75. So is that even big enough to see the words?
You'll be able to see it if we put it in, I think it was at 10-inch letters. I didn't bring, and I don't think that we have the drawing that had that on it, but we certainly can put that back in and provide it to you for review.
And it was lit as well, so it'll stand out nicely in the evening.
Anything else for Mr. Osborne? Now I'll entertain a motion. Councilwoman?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Floresco Services Monument signs, designs, and quote for design-build services in the amount of $156,053.56 for project CE 2201 by electronic vote.
Have a second? Councilwoman?
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Vice Mayor Hunt?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Have a second?
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming out, everyone.